Welcome back, everyone. This is Mr. Brain, your friendly neighborhood gaming dad, here with an interesting video. The game admins have dropped developer feedback, and we're honestly just going to go over what they've talked about in this particular feedback. I believe this was an attempt to tell us as players that the developers are actually listening to some of the questions that we pose. So let's see what things they decided were important. Question number 1, please let players choose how many searches they want to do in the police station. It looks like that thanks to that suggestion, they will be including a button for search 1 and search 10 as opposed to search 1 and search all, which is going to be a benefit because a couple of the events that they have going on now, especially the Doomsday Journey, require a certain amount of advanced searches, and I know personally clicking through only 20 of them so that I don't waste the rest of mine is a little bit annoying, but kind of a minor change. Question 2, the faction allocation rules for phase 2 are unclear. There is some difficulty in determining affiliation. Can you provide more detailed information on how the factions are allocated? Let's see what kind of answers they gave. 1. Legions that capture each faction's treasure city will be directly assigned to the corresponding faction. Capturing each faction's towers will increase the affiliation of the corresponding factions. Unassigned legions will be assigned to factions based on the level of their faction affiliation. When a legion has equal affiliation with both factions, the system will randomly assign their faction. However, we know that's not entirely random because you can only have 2v2, and if they have an equal affiliation with both factions, there's bound to be 2 legions that have an affiliation with the other faction. So they're going to get stuck with the one that probably has no affiliation. That being said, we've also noticed many concerned about the faction allocation mechanism in the current Archipelago raid. We are considering introducing a brand new matchmaking mechanic, such as allowing legions to vote for faction allocation before entering the map, and engaging in fierce battles as they advance towards the Lush Sanctum. I don't know if I like that idea either. But then again, voting on it early on will allow for people to not be confused about what legion they end up in when it's all said and done. If they're voting for it, then the 2v2 that they want is exactly what they get. Question number 3, please make it impossible to attack allies of the same legion faction in Archipelago raid, or add penalties for that. No points earned for attacking others in the same legion or faction. Thank you for your concern. We understand why players would want to prohibit the attacking of allies in the same legion or faction, or adding penalties as such. We're planning better solutions for a more enjoyable experience. The enjoyable experience would be removing the ability to friendly fire, so that factions can work together as a unit as opposed to 2 separate entities. As it stands right now, when you have a 2v2 situation, it's usually a 1v1 and 1, if that makes sense. If you have both factions out on the field, they're going to hurt each other, which is only a benefit to the other team. So yeah, just make it impossible to hit. You've already created an ability for the alliances within the same legion to not be able to hit each other. Extend that when the factions are decided. Anyways, question 4. I hope legions can share alliance building materials in Archipelago raid so that all R4 or R5 members can build towers. Otherwise, due to time zone differences, some alliances have resources but are not online. Let me read this before I give my opinion on that. Thank you for your feedback, for raising your concerns. Currently, each alliance can manage their own alliance building materials. This design is intended to help better manage resources and encourage alliance members to actively compete for alliance building materials. We understand that time zone differences may cause some difficulties in resource utilization for alliance members. We'll continue to work on this issue and strive to find better solutions to provide a fairer and smoother gaming experience. I agree with not changing this one, and I'll explain why. When you have you're bound to have alliances or legions that are weaker than others, and I think that's what this person is trying to get away from, because the weaker alliances or the weaker players aren't going to be able to contribute as much alliance building materials. But if they also are the ones that are going to have to build for their alliance, that's just two alliance building materials will be wasted twice, because they're not getting used effectively if they're on different time zones, or things like that. This is supposed to be a multi-alliance union fight. If you eliminate the ability for an alliance to completely, if you can have an alliance just completely sit out and not be important, then the others can definitely pick up the slack, but at the same time, you don't want that to become the norm. You want each alliance to have incentive to take part in the group event, as opposed to just sitting back and waiting for stuff to happen. If you take away their individual ability to create their own towers and make it a collective event, then one legion or one alliance within a legion will take over the entire archipelago and run it. And it needs to be a group effort, in my opinion. That's part of what makes this fun. Question number 5. The hero selection in Top Commander needs to be updated. Many regions have been waiting for infantry heroes for a long time, and it is unfair that new regions get to choose infantry heroes right from the start. That was annoying, I'll admit. I got off of Victor Bianca from Region 6, moved over, had just worked my way through ranged heroes and rider heroes, and was going to get set up on infantry heroes, and then this event dropped. This new Top Commander setup dropped. So I had to wait even longer in order to get infantry heroes. I'm still holding on to speed ups. I'm still holding on to stuff for when the infantry heroes open up again. So I'll admit that has been annoying, but it needed to be standardized, in my opinion. So as long as this cycle is the same for everyone, I'm perfectly fine with it. In order to take into account the impact of the new immigration decree, I'll talk about that later. On players from all regions, we have made adjustments to hero-related systems. To protect new players, the game only specially allows infantry selection in the first round of Top Commander in new regions. From the second round onward, the hero selection in Top Commander in new regions will be consistent with other regions. I like that. Infantry commanders are necessary for handling defensive fights in your own region, and having the ability to pick them up first is necessary. Granted, you could very easily get put into a region where infantry will be up right next after that, in which case, great. But the first round being infantry, I can't complain with that. And question 6, looks like the last question we have. Please add hive minds and zombies of higher levels in large-scale regional battles. Thank you very much for your suggestion. We understand that you hope to see higher level hive minds and zombies. They have incorporated that into their plans and are expecting it to go live in the first half of 2024, which is nice. The current max hive mind that I've seen is 6, and 6 is really easy to take down. So I hope to see 7s, maybe 8s, maybe get closer to level 50 in zombies. Granted, I don't think we need to go that high, but you know what I mean. Will it benefit us an experience setup? No. But the rewards for killing zombies need to be more worthwhile, and currently killing level 30s is just not enough. It really isn't. Most people are killing zombies in order to get the rewards for killing them in Archipelago or Dark Seal or Top Commander. It's not because the individual zombies themselves give rewards. But if you made them stronger, gave them better rewards, I think it would be a little bit more for players to be able to take part in between events. If you do have any other suggestions that you would like to see pop up in this developer feedback, they do go based off of what pops up in the submit suggestions feedback channel. So please get into the channel, read the rules, and submit your suggestions for the game. If you have any questions about what other people have suggested, you can take a look at some of these. So scroll on through, there's quite a few. And this is the channel within the main Discord in order to discuss those individual suggestions that pop up. I would suggest writing the suggestions number so that if you bring it up in a discussion, it's easy to find for anyone that wants to talk about it. However, this is a nice, easy way to get your feelings out about the game and what you want to see changed. With that, I will cut this video here. This is Mr. Brain, your friendly neighborhood gaming dad, signing off.